anything you
I'm
want, we can
requesting
talk.
that we get those credit card
For-
statements.
For the sake of moving forward right now,
We
can we,
Yeah.
yeah, can we discuss this? Diane, could you discuss this with them?
Sure.
So we can move on to another
Yeah, that's
item
fine.
here? I don't want to keep him,
Yeah.
but would you guys be able to work that out?
If I could just add one last thing, because I think what you're getting at is process. Very few people have, complete access to the credit card. It's maintained in finance. You have to physically walk over to finance to get it and enter it. Yeah, you sign it out, sign it in. So there's a method behind the madness to using the credit card. It's not like it's not like everyone has the credit card number saved and can just use it whenever they want. It's not like that, so.
Very good.
Yeah, I just believe the board should be reviewing all payments going on.
We also have to do it that way because it's a 1099. We still issue 1099 to individual vendors on a credit card. So if
For required 1099 transaction.
If there's a transaction that requires a 1099, we would not be able to issue that properly if the recorded transaction was the credit card company, not the vendor.
Could you pay services on those?
I'm sorry?
You're paying for services on your credit card? What's going on the credit card that requires a 1099?
I don't know if there is anything, it's just that if.
The potential exists with any transaction that you could have a
Okay,
reporting obligation.
I can send you a separate email. I'm a little concerned on that process. And how about,
Can you maybe just speak to that again, that we provide greater detail than most people when it comes to the credit card?
Sure, in terms of that and whether or not there's I think from an audit process, we're looking at those statements there. We're looking, we start with the statements, and look at transactions there as part of what are those statements there, and then test from a compliance standpoint to ensure that those amounts that are, if it's charged to a particular line item that we're seeing it go to that line item there. So there are things that are being done on an audit standpoint. Again, to Hannah's point, it is something that, the level of detail is there, but you certainly can, understand if there's a process discussion to have, so.
yeah, I would like that because it seems like it could be a control issue. We're just putting the vendor on there from the statement. I'd like to see that because it could be anybody's vendor. We're not actually making payments out, right? Or are you making the payment through the AP?
The payment process is the same as any other transaction. There's an invoice or a receipt that is received from the transaction. It goes through an approval process, gets allocated to the budgetary line items.
But we're not seeing the payment to the credit card company, ever.
No.
So
Not
that,
directly, you're
we're
saying.
making payments to the we're making payments to the credit card, but it's not on any of our reports.
It is on the reports. I don't want
But
to say that it's not.
it's on there for vendors, but I don't see a payment to the credit card company.
If you don't mind, let's talk offline about it.
That's
We can
fine.
work through it. Yep, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a comment. I just had a question for Brad.
Yes.
So that we're all on the same page. Every single expenditure through the village is the email that you and your staff and Eileen send us on Fridays, correct?
Correct. Any payment that has been made.
Whether it's through, however however it's expended, that is all in one email that we get every Friday. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item number 4, review the mid-year fiscal year 2022 budget.
All right, so before we start, forgive me, I'm gonna try my best to get through this. I'm not an expert in finance, but obviously, given the circumstances this year, I do have Brad here to support and Eileen as well if there's questions. I'm sure they'll laugh at me as I try to talk in their finance language about some of these things. So we'll try to keep it high level. It will be a little bit different from years past. It won't be as detailed given the circumstances, but if there are questions, we'd be more than happy to answer and whatnot. So really just wanted to kind of keep it short, just highlight some main things. So with that being said, first and foremost, we'll just highlight a couple of the funds in sort of year-to-date status. So we'll start with municipal sales tax. You can see that the municipal sales tax, we are 33.5% fiscal year to date increase. And this is largely because of the leveling the playing fields tax that was enacted by this, or sales tax legislation, I'm sorry.
Correct.
And so this really required marketplace facilitators and certain remote retailers to calculate and collect sales tax. So this has been a huge bump and definitely benefiting the village here in regards to the municipal sales tax. In terms of home rule sales tax, 8 of the last 12 months reflect new highs. So again, faring very well there at about 35.1% increase fiscal year to date.
And the home rule sales tax typically runs on as a rule of thumb, runs about 41% of the regular sales tax. And again, because of the change in the rules, the Department of Revenue is capturing more online retailers and out-of-state retailers. Now, and again, last year they were collecting the use tax, which we would receive a portion of that through a per capita distribution. This year now we are receiving that primarily through sales tax based mostly on delivery point calculation. And so we've got a big bump in the regular sales tax items. We have a decrease showing up now in the per capita use tax because of that change. But I will say, to our benefit, the increase is greater than the loss on the other. So we are definitely advantaged by this change in reporting requirement, collection and reporting requirement.
So moving on, one thing I wanted to highlight because it reflects fairly well video gaming and our revenue that we do receive from video gaming. So out of 39 establishments active for the reporting month, which there is a 2-month lag when it comes to video gaming, we're up 140%. You know, there were some shutdowns last year with COVID and whatnot, but I think this just shows some of the bounce back that despite, you know, COVID, you know, people are out there playing at the video gaming machines, and so we are reaping the benefits of that revenue.
And the monthly revenues, I would also note, are near the all-time high. They are at the upper end of the spectrum.
And Brad, those pay for all of our music in the plaza events and all that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of it's earmarked for a lot of our community events and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Entertainment-related events.
Yep.
Our commuter parking lot fund continues to, month over month, be one of our weakest funds right now. Again, this is largely due to COVID. It's supposed to operate as an enterprise fund, and it just is not doing that. So we continue to have to supplement from our general fund. You look at the dollar amounts, you know, it may not look that large in the grand scheme of things, but if it continues year after year, especially, you know, with the lack of commuters coming back and whatnot, we may have to get creative and find ways to further, you know, reduce costs for this fund. Staff's already done a great job at trying to do so by, you know, implementing lot closures, reducing snowplow contracts, things of that nature. It still just is not enough. And then lastly, just to highlight some revenue and expense fiscal year to date, you can see that in terms of the general fund, we're at about, you know, 40.4 million in terms of revenue, and our expenses are at about 24.7. Looking at this, I think one thing that I really want to highlight is just we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now had staff not really buckled down over the last, you know, year, 2 years. And, you know, I think we made over $20 million in budget cuts during COVID and whatnot. And because of that, we are in the position we're in. You know.
We reacted quickly
Right.
and directly to address the concerns.
Right.
What we anticipated would be an issue.
So if you look at this, a lot of it is favorable. You know, we are in a good position. I will say that, you know, we're not out of the woods yet. We continue to monitor things very closely, given the uncertainty of the economy and COVID and new variants and whatnot. But overall, we are in a strong position because of how we reacted quickly at the onset of the pandemic. So that's it. Just high overview of a couple of the funds and revenue where we're at right now. So moving on to the bond issuance, again, something that I believe everyone is familiar with, but you know, because it was a recent process that, you know, hasn't been completed in over 10 years, did want to highlight it. I think it shines very favorable on the village. You know, we retained our AA+ rating, and that was for the refinancing of 2 GO bonds as well as the new bonds that we will be taking out. So the S&P committee that we presented to did say that they felt that the village is very fundamentally well managed, that they think we have strong policies in place and good management of those policies, and just overall, you know, good practices and performance. So it really spoke highly of you know, a village management and the way we do things around here. So our debt profile remains very strong due to low debt and rapid amortization levels. And then just to highlight, you know, some projects that will likely, where this money will likely be spent fairly quickly. A good portion of it will go towards the LaGrange Road utility, which includes water main extension, booster pumps, construction, and a lot more. And I know John and his team are happy about that. So this is, you know, this will really help in the area of Loyola and further development in that area. So otherwise, using it to supplement some water main replacement all throughout town that has been delayed because of COVID and lack of funds. I'll let Brad kind of talk to this slide since he.
Thank you. So we sold the bonds on December 2nd. Our municipal advisor, Stephen Roberts with R.W. Baird and Company, had noted that since he had made the initial projections for us on the anticipated bond issue, interest rates had started to move higher, and about 30 basis points. And basically about the weekend before we sold the bonds, you know, the market went the other direction in reaction to the concerns about the new variant of COVID, and so we were well timed to hit the market and captured that drop in rates. That the advanced refunding of the 2013 bonds netted a net interest cost of 1.67%, which was 20 basis points lower or better than had been projected in the earlier calculations, which means that I believe it was somewhere over $500,000 interest savings we would realize. It's going to be more than that. And we received 5 bids for the 21A series, the new money, with a net interest cost of 1.56%. And Stefan noted that anything more than 3 bids is considered a good sale, reflecting, you know, good interest in the bonds. Seeing that we got 5 and 8 bids submitted, there was a lot of interest in our debt securities. And putting on my historian hat for a moment, these are some of the cheapest interest rates that I have seen in my since I've been around. It's just incredible. This is great news.
Thanks, Brad. Moving on to some of the funding we've gotten from the state and federal governments. In terms of ARPA, we're expecting just over $6.2 million. I believe we've received
half.
about half of that so far. The CARES funds, we have received that in full, and I believe that has already been spent.
That was basically a reimbursement from Cook and Will County.
Correct.
So that's yeah.
And then the Rebuild Illinois funds, 3.7 mil altogether. So
And I think we've gotten 3 installments at this point. So
we've received a portion of, not in full yet. So just kind of as an update, based on the permitted uses of these funds, there's obviously different requirements and whatnot, but these are some of the projects we expect these funds to go towards. You know, post improvements, you know, a lot of water main, street lighting, sidewalk, you know, PMP, a lot of infrastructure related improvements overall. So switching gears a little bit, talking about where we are now with the current budget process. We are in full swing of budget season. The departments have all submitted their line items, their capital requests, and their personnel requests to the finance department. The finance department is reviewing those, and we expect to have meetings with the village manager's office and the finance teams here throughout the month of January. The departments were directed to hold the line. Again, you know, we are in a pretty favorable position when it comes to the budget right now, but we're not out of the woods yet. Again, there's still uncertainty with COVID and the economy right now. So, you know, we told them no wish list items this year. Let's focus on what needs to be done and get back to, you know, things that may have been delayed because of the pandemic and budget cuts. Just a high-level overview. This is definitely not the entire capital list. Just to kind of give you an idea of the range of projects, you have some that are related to technology. We have a large amount of vehicle requests this year. You know, there's some maintenance that needs to be done to some facilities, different infrastructure, you know, some related to tourism. So you'll end up seeing a lot of varying capital requests per usual. So. In terms of personnel requests, again, the departments were directed to try to hold the line. I know right now we have a lot of personnel in progress that our human resources is doing through recruitments. But in terms of new requests, there's only a small amount at this point in time. Again, not a complete list. Things are still being finalized and subject to change. So really just wanted to open the floor. Again, I know that was kind of a high level, but is there anything in terms of budgeting that you would like staff to be thinking about for next year? Any priorities, any projects, any personnel, things of that nature? Want to give you all a chance to let us know whether it's here. You can always follow up with us after the fact.
Okay. Thank you, Hannah. Great job. Thanks. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
I was looking forward to see consider that something that's up and coming, and that's the 120th anniversary of our fire department. We have been in discussion with the fire department, with Donna and different things to try to get a great celebration for the 120th anniversary. We have some thoughts on it already.
Definitely.
Committee's already on it. Okay.
Anyone else want to add anything to discuss, or
Bill?
you can discuss with department heads too at a later date too. Is there anything you want to put out here, Diane?
I just wanted to see about, are we still going forward with the plaza and all that's?
With what, I'm sorry?
The plaza, the, you know, music plaza, and we haven't heard anything about that in quite some time.
Yeah, and Paul, maybe that's something that we can give in an executive session update, given some of the litigation.
Sure, I think that'd be appropriate probably after the first year, we'll give you a little bit update.
We can definitely do
Yeah.
that.
I
It
mean,
is,
just
we
with
are still
budgeting.
trying to obtain the
I meant
language.
with, yeah, I mean with the budgeting side,
Absolutely,
do we
there's
have
still-
everything we need in there?
Yes, we're still forecasting, it's in the, you know,
The funds are still
Yeah.
set aside for it,
Okay.
yeah,
pending the property acquisition.
yeah.
Very good. Dennis? Looks like you got something on the tip of your tongue.
No, it's good to see a lot of infrastructure work going, so I'm definitely happy about that. Everything looks good. You guys did a lot of hard work on this, so I think we all appreciate that.
Very good. Cool. Mayor, you got anything? All right, very good. Thanks to both of you guys. Appreciate your hard work on that.
Thank you.
Good presentation. Thank you very much. Item number 5, consider amending section 31.105 of chapter 31 of title 3 of the Tinley Park Municipal Code relative to the treasurer.
This is just a minor change. Right now in the code, the treasurer it's referred to as treasurer. When we have vacancies, and obviously given our current vacancy in the position, we do try to take a hard look at the positions and whatnot. And really, just long story short, it's more common for municipalities to title the position finance director and not treasurer. I think a finance director's duties go far beyond the duties of just the treasurer, you know, as defined in statutory language. So it's really just permitting the position to be referred to in a job description and title in an official capacity as the finance director or treasurer, should we so choose.
Very good. Any questions or comments?
I just want-
Go ahead.
Just to verify, all the requirements currently under treasurer would stay the same. You're
Correct,
not
yep.
you're just-
Nothing's
It's a
changed.
name change.
Correct, it's
Okay.
solely just the title.
Thank you.
And the amendment actually makes a small change to, chapter 31 that says anywhere in our code or in the statutes that has a duty that's required of the treasurer, it will be performed by the finance director.
Very good.
So that there's no discrepancy in whose responsibility something is.
Thanks, Brad. Any other questions, comments? No. Got to move this item to the village board meeting. Is there such a motion to move this item?
I'll make,
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes, I'll make the
All right, you win.
Thank
Do
you.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Mahoney. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item number 5, Trustee Brady.
yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
yes,
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 6, consider amending section 36.07 of chapter 36 of Title 3 of the Tinley Park Municipal Code relative to authorized depositories and signatories.
I will take that one as well, thank you. Again, just a minor code amendment. You know, kind of given the current situation we're in without, you know, a treasurer in place and with Eileen, our assistant treasurer, leaving here at the end of this month, it prompted us to look at this ordinance as it relates to signatories to make sure that, you know, the village is fully covered and things continue on smoothly. So it's not, it's common for the village manager to be listed as a signatory. In our case, the village manager just is not currently listed as a signatory. So again, given the current situation, I reached out to Anthony, who actually presented tonight with Sickich, and spoke with the village attorneys, the three of us on a phone call, just to consider adding the village manager, you know, just for continuity of operations, you know, knock on wood, hopefully we're never in this situation again, but just kind of as an extra precautionary measure, and neither of them had any concerns with that. So it's solely just adding the village manager as a signatory in the event the treasurer decides to designate him as one.
Sure. That makes sense. I think it's a great idea and something that probably should have done before, but, any other questions or comments?
Question.
Go ahead, Diane.
I just want to verify that the village manager is not going to be approving the contracts and then signing off on the payments. It would be a
Correct,
segregation
yeah.
of that
And so the
duty.
way the ordinance is written, it specifically lists the village treasurer, the assistant treasurer, the clerk, and the deputy clerk, and then in section D, it says, should the treasurer be absent, or I forget the exact language, it's in the packet, but it says, you know, in the absence of, they can appoint the village manager. So even in the line of succession, he's, you know, last case scenario anyways, so.
It's like the succession of the president.
Yeah.
He's there if it's needed, but otherwise it's the primary positions of clerk and treasurer / finance director or their deputies.
Correct. And almost if you look at the situation we're in right now, so we will be without an official, you know, part of my interim treasurer appointment was to maintain the internal controls, but, you know, we'll be without an official treasurer and assistant treasurer, and so we'll just have, you know, the clerk and deputy clerk. So in this case, it would be beneficial because then you'd have the village manager to kind of offset, you know, a village manager and someone from the clerk's office, so.
Very good. Thank you, Hannah.
Bill, I have one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to add for the record, I am not on any of the signatories for the expenditure, so it's crystal clear. Thank you.
Very good. Is there a motion to move item number 6 to the village board?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Mahoney. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item number 6, Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
yes,
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 7, consider amending the ordinance for pay scales and fringe benefits established for the fiscal year ending April 30th, 2022.
I will give a high level, and if there's any questions, Angela is more than happy to answer.
Okay.
Again, this is, first and foremost, cleanup to account for changes to the minimum wage act, so it's increasing, you know, minimum wage from $11 to $12 per hour. There's just a few positions in our pay plan that does impact. And then just general cleanup with some of the titles and changes that have happened over the course of the past few months since we've last made changes here. For example, pending approval tonight, the finance director title being one of them, changing it from treasurer to finance director. So just minor changes of that nature.
Very good. Thank you, Hannah. Any questions from the board? No questions? Is there a motion to move item number 7 to the village board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank
I'll
you,
second it.
Trustee Mahoney. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 7, trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good. Motion will carry. Item number 8, consider an exception to section 2.11 of the Personnel Manual, dual capacity employment.
I will take that one as well. Thank you.
Get a busy night, Hannah.
We've had a couple of these requests come forward before. Because of our policy, the board does have to approve dual employment. We do have an EMA member who has expressed interest in being a substitute bus driver. It actually, would really benefit our senior bus program right now, and we were just asking for approval of this.
Yep. Thank you. I think it makes sense. Any questions from the board?
These are both part-time positions.
Correct, yes.
Is there a motion to move item number 8 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Mahoney. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item number 8, trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 9, consider 2022 village board and committee of the whole meeting schedules. Any questions on this?
This is just our annual approval of the Village Board and Committee of the Whole schedules for 2022. It'll be the first and the third Tuesdays of the month, Committee of the Whole at 6, Village Board at 6:30. And it's that every year we have to approve
Approve it.
this, so.
Yep. Very good.
And once it's approved, I'll be posting it all over the place.
Excellent. Anyone have any questions or comments for Laura? Very good. Thank you, Laura. Is there a motion to move item number 9 to the village board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Mahoney. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Roll call for item number 9, trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item 10, consider a renewed Cook County Assessment Classification 8 for property at 7320 Duvan Drive. Kimberly?
Sure. Duvan Drive is an area that we're constantly trying to see reinvestment, and one of the economic tools we have really right now is the reclassification through Cook County. We have a gentleman here, John, who owns several buildings in the area, and this is one that the first reclassification is coming due and is looking to renew. Really, unfortunately, the area has not transformed 100%, so we felt it still met the criteria to support that reclass and keep that tax classification to a 10%, which will allow the current tenant to remain there who has expressed concern that they would not be able to absorb an additional rent due to the taxes going up. They've maintained the property well. There are some improvements they're looking to make, which they discussed at ECC, that are some significant improvements due to the age of the building. ECC recommended unanimous approval to the village board to consider the resolution to bring forth to the Cook County assessor.
Very good. Thank you, Kimberly.
Yes.
The Duvan Drive was a special area that we had approved, and I know we
Correct.
resubmitted documents.
Good point. I did.
What's the status on that?
I called Ira on that because naturally we have an application in front of us. When our village request for the area has not yet been approved, I've made him aware that I'm concerned that that's been lagging because now we are directly impacting a business. He acknowledged that claimed or stated he'd be working on it, acknowledged it was taking longer, but assured me to let this application go forward. And it's been about 2 weeks since I've talked to Ira, but he's hasn't noted anything deficient with our application, but recognized there's been some delays, so.
I just was concerned.
Good
if we
point,
had
I
to- if
forgot.
We had to shift this to a 6 or a 7 instead of.
I was advised by Ira to go ahead with the 8
Perfect.
on this, because I did inquire, yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Very good. Any questions, comments from the board? Nothing? Mayor? Nothing? All right, very good. Is there such a motion to move item number 10 to the village board meeting?
I'll make that.
I'll make that motion, Billy.
Give it to Mueller, he's sleeping over here. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis.
Roll call for item number 10. Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good, motion carries. Item number 11, consider an expansion to an existing ground lease and PCS site agreement at 7820 183rd Street.
Yes, sir, thank you. This is a simple request, an agreement with STC2 that currently owns a cellular tower at Post 2, which is located off 183rd and Ridgeland. Due to some recent interest in the tower that is there, the leaser is requesting 250 additional square feet added to the adjacent existing premises that will allow for them to pay the Village of Tinley Park 30% of the rental received by the tenant. It is a 5-year term with extensions, and the village will get an execution of the amended agreement that gives us $27,000 annually from STC2.
Very good. Thank you.
This is one by the fire training tower, correct?
No, this is the one by Post 2, Ridgeland 183rd. Fire training tower is coming shortly. Where's it wrong at?
7820?
Where did I see? I'm sorry, where do I see that?
Yeah, that would be closer. That's right by the, that's right.
Yeah, but where are you seeing 7820? Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the memo and backup. Okay, now then the agenda is corrected. Could we have that adjusted for Post 2? 7820 was supposed to be on this agenda, but they did not finish their documentation in time. So we're only doing this site for this agenda.
Okay.
Resolve the other issues with regard to that location, the Post 2 location?
Did they resolve the other issues?
Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. So what's the do we have?
The
it?
correct site
Do we have an
is
address
Post
for-
2, 183rd and Ridgeland.
Okay, okay. So Post 2, 183rd and Ridgeland, just make sure
Correct.
that's reflected in the minutes. Is there such a motion to move this item to the village board meeting?
Corrected address.
Yeah, with the corrected address.
Thank you.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Motion for corrected address. Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Sorry, roll call. Trustee Brady is an aye. Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 12, consider annual maintenance contract renewal for network hardware and software maintenance with Meridian IT, Inc. Anthony?
Yeah, thank you. So this is relatively straightforward. This is our annual maintenance on the village network devices. This maintenance provides the support on the physical device itself, meaning if a component breaks inside of that, it'll be replaced as part of the maintenance on there. Also provides the software maintenance on the devices, which will ensure the security patches are available for each one of the switches, routers, firewalls, etc. Meridian has provided this service before in the past. However, we did put it out to competitive quote just to ensure that the pricing was best pricing available to us. But like I said, relatively straightforward. If there's any questions, I'll have to answer them.
Very good. Thank you, Anthony. Any questions from the board?
No, you said, pretty straightforward.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Is there a motion to move item number 12 to the village board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan.
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item number 12, trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 13, receive comments from the public. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the committee? No? There are none. Moving on to adjournment, is there a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan.
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Mahoney. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to adjourn, trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Very good, we are adjourned at 6:51 PM.